The second 2012 Toubin Award is being presented to another leader in the international fight against HIV/AIDS, the grassroots advocacy organization, ONE. Founded by the well-known musician and human rights activist Bono, in collaboration with a number of other leaders in business, public health, philanthropy, and human rights, ONE fights extreme poverty and preventable disease with a focus on Africa, through public awareness campaigns and through working closely with governments and policymakers in Africa and around the world. ONE has initiated cutting-edge campaigns to reduce infectious diseases, address poverty in many manifestations, including access to education, to energy, and to healthcare, and to increase transparency and accountability in developing countries. One of its most exciting initiatives is its new campaign to bring about the beginning of the end of AIDS. This campaign urges governments, donors, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector to resist complacency and to commit to 3 specific interim goals. The first goal is to virtually eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV by 2015. The second goal is to accelerate access to treatment by ensuring that 15 million people with HIV are on antiretroviral medications by 2015. And the third goal is to implement innovative prevention as strategies to stop new infections. For ONE's tireless efforts as advocates on behalf of the poor and neglected to fight poverty and preventable disease, Whitman-Walker is happy to present the organization with the 2012 Joel A. Toubin Award. And here to accept the award is Tom Hart, the U.S. Executive Director of ONE.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you, Whitman-Walker. This is a tremendous honor, and I will be very, very brief. It's a real honor and a privilege for me to be able to accept this award on behalf of my colleagues at ONE, and my good friends Aaron and Mike who have joined me tonight, on behalf of our co-founder Bono, who was mentioned earlier, and we're just humbled to be part of a movement of folks like yourselves who are fighting this pandemic and really making headway in a way that I think few would have recognized when we started this little outfit called ONE and Data before it about 10 years ago. I was just having coffee with a buddy actually who used to work on Capitol Hill around 10 years ago when a small little band of activists started harassing folks up on Capitol Hill around taking this fight against HIV, learning from the folks who blazed the trail like Whitman-Walker and so many others on the domestic fight, and taking that fight globally. If you remember, treating people in Africa with HIV was not even on the table. It was all about prevention. We had senior government officials say, well, you can't treat Africans with HIV. They don't have wristwatches. They won't know what time to take their medicines during the day. And you know, fast forward to today, where the United States government, through a number of innovative approaches and through Republican presidents and Democratic presidents, we are now supporting the lives of 4 million people in the most resource-poor settings around the planet. It is an historic achievement and one that we should be enormously proud of. And then just most recently on World AIDS Day, ONE was pleased to host an event where President Obama announced that that number, 4 million, would scale up to 6 million. And so the United States, with generosity of politicians on both sides and with activists like in this room, are really making a huge difference. And you know, today we're at this really precious moment where we have tools that we've long known about, but when we can put them to scale and combine them, like medicine to prevent mother-child transmission, scaling up treatment, and male circumcision, these things combined, we can begin to radically reduce the transmission of the disease, and indeed, we think, begin to see the end of the pandemic. So we have, at ONE, launched a campaign about the beginning of the end of AIDS. And one of the things that we do with Bono and his celebrity friends is we put together public service announcements and ads to try to get attention and try to build awareness here in the United States, to build the political will to get politicians to do the right thing. And so we actually have a small piece that I wanted to show you that demonstrates that work.